Hello and welcome to Avenge This, a show where if we can't predict the twist, you can be damn sure we'll avenge it. As of recording this episode, we're a few weeks away from Fantastic Four First Steps. We're also like a little over a week away from Superman, which may make us deliver on our thin promise to maybe do some DC stuff sometimes, I guess, if we feel like it.
Have you guys noticed the sexual tension between the three leads of the new Superman movie is just so like they have an entire PR campaign based on sexual tension between the leads of that movie.
Yeah, it's the Pedro Pascal, Chris Evans, Dakota Johnson, but for nerds, which is wild because all three of those people are also leads in superheroes.
Also for nerds.
Yeah.
It's in part because Superman Returns, 2004's Superman Returns. A big complaint was that that Superman and Lois Lane didn't have chemistry.
People weren't giving each other the bedroom eyes enough.
And then
people didn't find Kevin Spacey human enough, which is so weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Henry Cavill and Amy Adams also had no chemistry. So they're really like, no, these two want a bone, guys. We promise.
Two actors that I really like, but now that you mention it, could not have less chemistry.
Could not have had less chemistry in those movies. There was a PR clip of where Lois Lane was like, we had to film the flying kissing scene the other day, and it was 4 hours of making out in the sky. So they're really pushing the we're horny guys.
Yeah, love that.
Well, great.
Well, more importantly than Superman being horny or not, this week marked the conclusion of Ironheart on Disney Plus. So. And that might come as a surprise to you, honestly, that the fact that 6 episodes dropped in the span of 8 days on Disney Plus in the dead of night with very little promotion. But hey, maybe that's something we'll talk about. Per usual, when we do an Avenge This, there's going to be an auto garage full of spoilers ahead. So if you haven't finished Ironheart and you don't want it spoiled for you, now's your time to visit your local candy store and establish an unholy marriage between technology and energy from the dark dimension.
And boy, was it unholy.
And seriously, we're going to ruin the final episode nearly immediately. So go meet with a nice man over some pizza right now if you don't want spoilers. You have been warned.
As someone who watched this knowing the spoilers, don't spoil it if you haven't yet. This would have been so much better had I not known the spoiler we're about to
I recommend
reveal.
I recommend don't be on a podcast with 3 other people who are really big fans of the MCU.
Yeah.
Well, or just don't open up any any social media 12 hours after the episode came out.
Yeah. That's bad time to be on social media anyway. Turn that off. Go watch 6 hours of Ironheart.
Go delete Twitter and make proxies.
Yeah.
What have we been telling you this whole time?
It is really funny that hey, we've given you enough spoiler warnings. The Mephisto reveal came so quickly through social media that the people that complained about the Thunderbolts * New Avengers reveal didn't even have time to put their shoes on.
No.
It was so fast.
Todd, we avenged this twist so hard. We predicted this 4 years ago.
Yeah. Us and Eric Voss are hand in hand jumping into the abyss. Real quick though, when did this release? When did the last episode release on
Tuesday?
Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. And today is Friday.
We're recording this on Friday, July 4th, a day that we are not celebrating.
Yeah. So I happened to watch this the next day, and I already knew about the big spoiler 2 days before I watched it.
Yeah. I missed it Tuesday night. And the first post I saw on Facebook Wednesday morning spoiled it for me.
Facebook.
Facebook on God, where the social media most shown in God's light.
Right.
Which means
which means it churned through the entire engine to get to Facebook.
My Twitter feed was only Mephisto for all of Wednesday morning.
So much like Kyle, while Matt was looking in God's light on Facebook, I was searching the elephant graveyard and immediately found Sacha Baron Cohen's face at the top of the page. But let's hold off on that. We've held space for Mephisto in this episode. Now, typically, Matt or I get to do the introduction. We introduce each other because we're the two little Marvel piggies. We're the two little Marvel piggies that like to roll around in the Marvel piggy slop. Well, I've got a special surprise for you today, listeners, as you've already gathered. You get 4 pigs. You get 4 pigs for the typical cost of 2 little piggies. That's right. Joining me today is Matt. I didn't put a middle name here, but hey, Mephisto's in this one. Cole, Kyle, did you think we were going to hear Dormammu in this show? I didn't think so. Harper and Andrew. We never really settled with the fact that she made an AI replicant of her dead best friend and then got a dead best friend back at the end. That seems morally gray, and more people should have been upset about it. Henderson.
Yeah. Well, all the people,
hell yeah,
all the people who were
friends of the pod, Andrew and Kyle are on.
Kyle and Andrew, people who would have been mad about that morally gray ending, instead got mad at the teaser clip where she says Tony Stark was only able to be Tony Stark because he was a billionaire, and then didn't watch the show. So we're not going to hear any of those opinions.
Oh my God. For sure.
Yeah. I have told every single person I've met in the wild who I've talked to about Ironheart. I've like
who will listen to him as he screams at them on the street.
Yeah, listen to me. Don't believe a single review you read. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just
don't believe
whether it's a good review or a bad review, just don't. Just go watch it. That's all you should do.
And the advertising does such a poor job of showing what it is.
Disney does not want this show to succeed.
It looks like Temu Iron Man, and I can't from the loudest I can shout from the highest rooftop. It is so not that.
It is not. No.
It is an actual good series that gives us building off of a character that we were first introduced to over 3 years ago.
Who we have never cared about until now.
Like Riri's inclusion into Black Panther, Wakanda Forever felt forced. And I think a lot of people were unhappy of like how quickly you got this person and gave them the most high-tech super suit they've ever seen and then kicked him out. And this was just a much better story for that character. Yeah. But hey, we're going to get into that. Let's take a second real quick. I don't know the last time all 4 of us were on Avenge this, and I'm not going to look it up. Can't be bothered.
Cool.
So at the top of the show, like we always do, let's just real briefly get some of your initial thoughts on Ironheart, the series, before we jump into our questions.
I think I've made it pretty clear that I think Ironheart good. The one thing that I want to add on to that is that I think, weirdly, the best thing that Marvel did for Ironheart was market it as poorly as they did, because I think Ironheart will continue to do well because it is going to overpromise, or it's going to over-deliver on an under-promised marketing scheme. And I don't know that was intentional. I'm not like giving them a thumbs up on doing that intentionally. I just think that because this show buries the lead so well, it stopped so many people. It filtered everybody out at the like Tony Stark is a billionaire, whatever level, that the people who are going to make the first impression are going to get so much out of it. And I think that's great. And again, I do not give Marvel credit for doing that intentionally. Maybe they did, but I refuse to believe it until told otherwise.
I can't imagine that was intentional.
I couldn't agree more, Matt. I have thought forever that like one of Marvel's biggest handicaps is its need to hype everything to the sky since before Endgame, but they like tried to make everything after that a like Endgame level release and like let off the gas, guys. Like, let's have this one that no one sees, but everyone tells you like, oh, you got to go back and watch that because it's really good. And then it's actually pretty good. That's so much better for your brand than hype. So,
do you mean we didn't learn anything from Ant-Man Quantumania?
Todd, we will never learn anything. They won't learn anything from this.
Yeah, no. No, they'll learn something, but it's always the wrong lesson. Yeah, man. I mean, I was in from minute 2. Like it's so good. They did such a great job of like taking a character I thought nothing of and really recontextualizing her. This show, I think this show tells the story that Wakanda Forever was trying to tell. Insofar as like it is about trauma and grief and how we deal with that. And spoilers, Riri Williams, not okay.
Not well.
Yeah.
Not doing well at all.
Yeah. We'll probably talk a bit about the ending, but I was pleasantly surprised that this did not end with a nice, like, obviously most Marvel things end with some level of a cliffhanger, right? Like, you know, with Moon Knight, you get the third iteration of Mark Spector in the front seat. Joey Chaperone or whatever his name is. that
Joey Chaperone is really good.
And I was pretty thrilled that, like, I thought they were going to leave us on a full cliffhanger for the ending, and then they showed us like what had happened, and I was like, "That's a good cliffhanger. That's a good cliffhanger."
It was a good reveal and then a double reveal.
Yeah. Yep.
You're like, there's no way she's going to take the deal. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And then
Riri Williams
maybe
is
she
not
took the
okay.
deal.
I don't know that she necessarily like took the deal as much as it was like thrust upon her kind of thing.
I mean, the devil would tell you that like you accepted a deal and there's a legal binding thing, but like certainly painted into a court. Like there's
Here's
making a deal and there's
friend. Should I send her back to hell?
Yeah, exactly.
There's making a deal and there's making a deal under duress.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if it was under duress when she says, just like when she's like, and it's only me.
It's only me.
Right? Like that was like, oh, you've already decided.
Yeah.
Because you certainly didn't watch it play out poorly for the Hood.
Well,
she's
She's
different. She's different. She's built different.
Hey, I want to keep going here.
Yeah. Let's.
So one thing we do typically on our deconstructed show, which you can find over on the premium feed, patreon.com/debatethiscast, we do what's called a Disney Vader pitch, where we take as few words as possible to summarize the movie we've watched. Well, I'm going to pitch it over to my other host today for their Disney Vader pitches for Ironheart.
I am going to have a really hard time summing this up, but I'm going to try. Post-grad dropout genius builds suit, does crime, regrets, magic to fix. That's 12 words.
Is this the first time we've had a Disney Vader pitch that's just a word with a question mark at the end?
That was a word.
Why use many words when few words do trick?
I want to try one. Ocean's 11 with consequences.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was something along the lines of, what if Tony Stark, but only in a cave with a box of scraps, and magic, and then hot rod car, and then hot rod suit.
Yeah,
what if that cave was Chicago?
What if that cave was Chicago?
Yeah, mine was really just going to be a joke over Riri Williams built a friend in a garage with a box of car scraps.
And trauma.
That's good. Trauma.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so let's jump into a couple questions I got. So typically, we have some discussion questions, a chance to reflect over the movie or the series, talk about some of the cool stuff. So just a quick refresher here, a tight 5 on Riri Williams. We met Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, which I thought the Ironhead reveal and the build into Ironheart was very fun in this. We met her a little over 3 years ago in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, a movie that I couldn't believe this came out only a year after WandaVision. Those timelines don't feel right.
What?
Is that real?
Wakanda Forever came out in in the like dead of shutdowns.
Oh yeah,
like
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I definitely went and saw it when I had COVID.
Yeah.
That's 100%
Like,
I remember
what
that
did.
story.
I didn't go see I didn't see Wakanda Forever because I didn't want to sit in a theater 6 feet away, like 2 chairs away from everyone else.
From me who had COVID.
From Matt, who had COVID.
well, Matt was in solidarity with Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
No, that's terrible. Don't put me in
man,
that.
Don't put that evil on him.
no one wins on that. The point that I'm making is that I just couldn't believe that WandaVision came out in 2021, and this came out a year after it, which was just really tough.
And then
to think
this was supposed to come out the year after.
Yeah. So other pieces there. This finished filming a few months after Wakanda Forever came out. This has been wrapped since the end of 2022, and it's been on the shelf for over 2 years, which I don't know how much we're going to get into this. I'm sure has nothing to do with Disney leadership change or strategy change or underperforming projects. Again, we've never learned anything from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And it certainly was never going to be tethered to the Armor Wars project that we've just all stopped talking about.
Yep.
My question, with that being said, taking all that out of this, what do you think about the overall setup for the show? Riri as a protagonist, her overall plot of her, she has everything. She falls from grace. She has to turn to crime. What are your thoughts, I guess, overall of the plot and the theme of the show?
I'll kick this off. I thought it was a very good way to have, and I apologize to anyone who doesn't like the comparison to Tony Stark, but I'm gonna keep making.
You're gonna get it here. That's very reasonable.
It felt like the getting kicked out of MIT introduction felt like a great way to introduce our quote unquote young Tony Stark character, butting heads with authority, always having explosions in the lab kind of thing, and then her hastily stealing her tech from MIT on the way out the door. Was that whole sequence, the Take Me Home sequence where she flies back from school. The whole time I was sitting on my couch, I was like, this is some Tony Stark ass shit. This is the most Tony Stark thing anyone has done since Iron Man 2 when he got drunk and had donuts in the giant donut.
Yeah,
it ruled. That was my introduction to this character. It was great. And watching her fly the suit halfway across the country while it's both still being put together and falling apart was awesome. Great. And then the plot, I have a note somewhere that says oh, I love me a lovable gang of thieves.
A rackish band of thieves.
Yeah,
I am a sucker for the crew intro scene.
Yeah, man.
And this
especially when it features Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Dude,
Eric Andre and this crew of non-binary hackers rules.
Yeah.
I think Matt texted me. He's like, "Did we know Eric Andre was going to be in this?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know."
Yeah. The Eric Andre jump scare hit me so hard.
Same.
So what's so funny about that is because Eric Andre being in that role, you're okay, he works for the Hood. Hood is supposed to be a bad guy, but because Eric Andre is there, I'm oh, they want us to like these guys.
Yeah.
Immediately. Oh, okay, I'm supposed to like these guys.
And I did.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Again, what are you going to introduce the crew and not and give them all cool nicknames and a backstory, and I'm not going to like them?
You introduce us to the Blood Sibs, people who were D1 athlete dropouts who just beat people's asses, and I'm say more.
Yep. They're all Metal Gear bosses, and I love them all.
And then the way the magic worked in the back half of the show was incredible. And I'm very pleasantly surprised at how it all pulled together. And if Kevin Feige had any sense, he would give Ryan Coogler the keys to the MCU for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
because this was insane.
Yeah, let's direct a little bit of power away from the Russos. And instead
and give it to someone with some sauce.
give Ryan Coogler a writer's room that he demands for a price tag that he negotiates, and I don't care about anything else. I don't have any more of a good answer than what Kyle said, but I want to add just one thing, that as someone who's worked in higher ed for a long time, I loved that like the school was trying to revoke her access into the suit, and of course it took a while. Like that's really, really funny to me, just working in society where like, oh, an employee leaves, we'll remove their badge access. Okay, well, it's going to take a minute to do that. Like, they're going to have time to steal the office secrets before we can revoke their password.
Yeah. I mean, it's so fun to get a superhero backstory that we don't know because of common culture, right? Like we're always saying like, I don't need to see Uncle Ben die again. Yeah. But like, man, I don't know shit about Riri Williams in the comics. I know a little bit because I'm a Marvel freak, but like we, the collective, we don't really know much about Riri
most
Williams'
people don't
backstory.
know, have never heard of Riri Williams,
And so to do it in a way that's like fun and quick and relatable and also isn't 2/3 of the project, like it's not a whole backstory thing, but it's a very understandable, this person is a genius, also used all this grant money to build all of this stuff, is getting kicked out and is taking her ball and going home.
Well, and did a great job of like, will do anything to build this suit. And also I loved the way her quote unquote like tragic origin was revealed in this, and like wasn't all spelled out from the beginning, like because it was set the tragedy happened 5 years ago, we got that kind of slow reveal on it. It was very good.
I draw a lot of parallels to Spider-Man Homecoming with the show, insofar as like it is, I've said this before when we talk about MCU, but like MCU kind of has their like small scale and their large scale, right? And like this is, and that very much echoes like what Marvel does. And this is like, this very much sits in the blanket of like a small scale story. Like this is not a world ending situation. This is like a personal journey. And personally, like I'm always going to be more interested in that. Like I'm not interested in the like larger ecosystem of like, well, how does this affect Thor and Hulk's son? Like I don't give a shit. But like the immediate
Hulk's son,
you don't care about
Scar out here catching strays.
Yeah, Scar didn't ask for that haircut, Andrew.
Sorry. But like the character study and like reminding like these are just people. I think there's a lot of parallels to Spider-Man 2 because like it's giving Spider-Man 2 like where he gets the suit. He like when in Spider-Man 2 when he quits. And he's like, I don't need to do this anymore. This is driving, this is like destroying my life, right? Like, it's that like Riri's like insistence on being iconic, and like we go back, we jump back to that in the Mephisto scene. Like, it all ties together really well, and that like she's not a bad person, but like, and it's like wrestling with the idea of like, what does it take to do big things?
What
is it going to take for her to be iconic?
That's a very good point, because that is the Hood's motivation as well. So like driving home the villain is the foil of our hero.
Well, and it's also, I really like that parallel, because obviously there's the magic versus technology story that I think we all thought we were going to get, and I don't know if I necessarily picked up immediately of that, like, what are you willing to do to get what you want? I also really like, because that is Tony Stark's whole thing, but quietly. Like, we've seen the times Tony Stark has crumbled, and it's usually when no one's around watching.
Yeah.
Like, he falls apart, and it's like, what will you give up to get what you want? And then, like, we see all the ramifications, and it becomes a better person on the other side. And I like the thought that throughout this show, it's constantly like, what are you willing to do to like Andrew said, be iconic, get what you want, what Kyle said. And in the end, I don't know if we got a good, like, there was not a really nicely made bow of like,
the
you
lesson
got what you
is-
wanted, you're good.
The lesson kind of is like to get what you want, you may need to do things the lesson is to be iconic, you may have to screw people over. Kind of what like
Anthony Ramos said it himself.
What his dad told him in the office there is like, I bet you had to screw people over on your way there. So did I. That's doing business. And like,
what a great reveal. And honestly, that's a good segue to my next question. So I feel like we always take time in every one of these to talk about the bad guys. And Marvel has had hits, they've had misses on bad guys. And there were, aside from like the capital T, capital C, the crew that we saw, we had, the Hood, Parker Robbins' character. We had Joe McKillicuddy, aka Ezekiel Stain, which Joe McKillicuddy is a name from the comic books.
Oh, really?
And I love that.
What a Silver Age ass name, Joe McGillicuddy is.
Yeah.
We have the Hood, we have Ezekiel Stain, and of course the reveal that was just at the top of everyone's social media slop on Wednesday morning, Mephisto.
Yeah.
So we'll go around the horn here. What did you think about the villains of Ironheart? And as a bonus, do we see any of these figures again? And don't spiral on Mephisto. I've got a whole GD question about Mephisto coming up.
Yeah, I'll start on this one. I think that the Hood and Ezekiel Stain are both going to be back in some way eventually, but I also don't think that it's like, and how are they going to come back in Secret Wars or come back in Doomsday or whatever? It's just like, I feel like they set these villains up well to come back in some way. The Hood, I think, is obviously heading down that mystic Marvel path that it sounds like we're firing back up again, which just injected into my veins. Just give it to me. I want
that's Matt Core. If TikTok has a corner that's called Hope Core, Matt Core is just spooky Marvel projects.
Yes. And like
the two last good shows being Agatha all along in this, like,
right.
Of course we're doing that, man.
And word on the street is the Blade movie is back on the menu, baby.
It's
so
it's gonna be time out. Tight 30 seconds on that. If they're smart, they just make the Blade movie the Midnight Suns movie and make Blade the central feature of it.
That is what that has been said.
Have Blade put together a rakish band of thieves that are gonna do a heist starring Eric Andre.
Real quick, here's one for you, Andrew. I read yesterday morning that the costumes that some of the background actors wear in Sinners were purchased from Marvel that were originally made for Blade.
Oh, awesome.
Because Blade was going to be a 1930s period piece. So anyway, I think we definitely see the Hood again. Probably before we see Ezekiel Stain again would be my guess. But also, I didn't even put it together until I was looking on IMDb. Ezekiel Stain is Alden Ehrenreich, who played young Han Solo.
Yeah, Timu Han Solo was in this.
Yep.
Han Solo.
We got both Han Solos this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like in the Disney feeder waiting to fulfill contract obligations. And maybe he pops back up. I hope more than anything that we do see capital T, capital C, the crew again, because that elevator shot of them leaving went so hard. And Shea Coulee in the MCU is awesome. And I loved the Blood Sibs and Clown. So I want more of that. But I think more than anybody else, I think we see the Hood, and I really liked the way that they did the demonic possession and the mystic aspects of this character in a way that was grounded and not super, ridiculous. I did think that when he kind of demoned out in the final episode, he looked a little morbish, just a little morbid.
He did morb a little bit.
Yeah.
I might have looked at Maddie and said, it's Morbin time. But that's my 2 cents there.
I really liked both the main villains. Ezekiel Stain was such a good reveal to me, and then the
was that spoiled?
A little bit,
yeah.
But like if you were deep in it,
if you were looking for it, it was you knew it was coming.
Yeah. Anthony Ramos as the Hood was great, and I love that they
good casting.
They left that door open for him to come back at the end with him going to the shop.
What else has he been in?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
In the Heights.
Yeah. And I do love, so just a real quick touch on that. I think Marvel learned that they can't keep murdering their best villains.
Especially
and obviously
the
like
TV show ones.
I feel like they've killed too many good villains, and now at this point they're like, maybe sometimes villains disappear. Maybe they get arrested.
And the Hood is a good one to have come back too. It's the Hood's the right level of like a little too threatening for like one new member to handle themselves. Not threatening enough that like a team, an Avengers-esque team, then can't have a kicking circle around him in the finale. So that's a good one to bring back. I think Ezekiel Stain is also a good like at that level to bring back. And we have like our magic and our tech kind of goons to come back. I wish I didn't like that Stain was the Hood's like lackey, like he had to follow everything he said for the remainder of the show. It was a good bit for a bit, and then like I would have liked it to have ended and he got to do something. But I think he was a good villain. I liked the twist, like kind of how he broke bad was very good. It was great. And I agree. I hope we get a show for the crew, or they just keep showing up as exposition dumps in later properties.
What we need is a Madripoor's 11.
Yes,
we do need a Madripoor's
They said Madripoor so many times in this, and I know like Madripoor has ties
it was like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, man, like it's Schrodinger's Madripoor. It either matters or it doesn't. And I mean, if you remember, that was like early of Falcon and the Winter Soldier that they go to Madripoor, and we're all like, there's mutants from Madripoor, and Wolverine has a storyline in Madripoor. And then we're like, everyone needs to calm their shit because everything isn't always everything. But they said Madripoor a lot.
That was back when we were Mephistoing at every particle effect on screen. So
I think that Shea Coulee said Madripoor more times than Sharon Carter, the power broker, said Madripoor.
You guys remember that? I want to jump in real quick. I don't have anything else to add with the Hood. We're going to talk more about Mephisto. A brief thing from Ezekiel Stain's character that I really loved was his entire story. Like, I agree with Kyle. Like
how he was horny for the tech.
Yeah, like I agree with Kyle that it was like, okay, you're under the control of the Hood, yada yada. Yeah, I see why they did that. Instead of giving the Hood a bunch of like lackey henchmen that could fight, they have one buff, buffed up B-list villain. One heavy. And what I really liked is, for a character that we didn't get a ton out of, they told the whole story. Like, dude is like a tech purist who's like, I have all this tech and I want to protect society from it. Because my dad didn't. My dad was like a wink at the camera warmonger, and I won't
Ironmonger.
Ironmonger, that's it. An ironmonger, and
also
I
probably
won't,
a warmonger, but
and I won't become that. And what I really, really liked was that society thinks that Stain died in a plane crash.
Yeah.
That like he got to like die
he
as
got the
like
hero's ending.
Yeah, he got the hero's ending. That like I guess I never really thought about that, and I don't know if we got that resolution from Iron Man 1. But I thought it was really interesting, like the reveal, and then saying, no, like people think that's what happened, but like he tried to kill Iron Man. Like my dad was a bad man, and I won't become
Well,
that.
and the irony is like that was absolutely like Stark Industries PR was just like,
it was S.H.I.E.L.D. We get a line from Phil
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Coulson at the end of Iron Man 1 when Tony Stark is doing the press conference. He says somebody asks like, do we have the cover story for Stain? And he says, yeah, died in a plane crash. It's
awesome.
Really common in this time of year or something
what
like
a
that.
good callback.
I really liked that Ezekiel like wasn't a like, and Tony Stark killed my father.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah.
I liked that he was like, yeah, my father sucked. I'm trying not to be him. And then threw that out the window
Kinda
when he got
became him.
shiny implants. But
As he points at the live, laugh, love sign that's over a nuclear warhead.
Would a mentally unstable person have these?
Yeah. Did you guys like the one scene when like she hands him that fuel core or whatever, and he came in his pants?
Yes. It was like I touched the tech and I felt something within me. I have a pretty far-flung theory that Ezekiel Stain actually isn't real and is an LMD, but we don't need to like get into that.
Matt, put it away.
I'm telling you, I don't. Like I said,
put it back
he's
in
not
your
a scroll.
pants.
He's an LMD. It's a robot. It's a robot. It's different.
What is that?
Andrew, you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know what LMDs are?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 15 years, so
yeah,
however long.
Yeah, it's pretty weird when you see a guy in his basement with the largest vein in his arm cut open and not bleeding. And maybe that's just Disney Plus, but I definitely was like, that guy might be made of. That guy might be synthetic.
I thought that was hand waved away with I jammed some biomesh in there.
Right.
Totally possible.
He looked cool. He didn't look super silly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if you look at the pictures of Ezekiel Stain in the comic books, it's about right. He kind of looks like Aaron Paul with electrodes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Also, if it was a Dark Horse comic, all the superheroes would call him Shit Stain, and I think that's kind of fun.
Neat.
That's all.
When are we getting Aaron Paul in the MCU?
He's too busy making that Invincible money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're right.
Anthony Ramos, good.
Anthony Ramos, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
So, want to cut to a quick break. We got a little bit more on the other side of this. Some, as always, our wild predictions. But of course, we would be remiss if we didn't dedicate a specific block to landing the plane that we took off with 4+ years ago and talking about Mephisto. So, stay with us. All right, and we're back. And just a peek behind the screen, we have like show notes for this show as well. And this question just says, this is a question about Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto. I have nothing else written. Hey guys, we made it. Someone call Eric Voss.
Made it, you guys.
Someone call Eric Voss.
He uploaded a video and it was just him like looking at the camera in disbelief.
Yeah, he posted
funny.
He posted that picture at the end or that GIF at the end of Infinity War with Thanos sitting looking over like his farm. Like finally he can rest.
Yeah. I think we all four of us at different points posted the "We got him" GIF.
We got him.
And like in different portions of our Discord chat.
Well, and I feel like if they didn't do it here, it wasn't going to happen. And I don't know how the timestamp will line up, but at the end of the last post show for Debate This, I said, like, if it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen, but I think it's going to happen. So guys, we got Mephisto. We got him. He was a lovable, bumbling idiot shoving pizza in faces and then became diabolical. And I think that was rad.
Perfect.
This is where I hold space to talk about Mephisto.
Cohen's so hot.
Dude, yep.
He can get it, man.
Yeah, I don't know
that's just he's got Riz.
I've just never I don't know, man. My Sacha Baron Cohen exposure is so limited and specific.
Sure.
Can I guess?
Well, you can obviously, but like when we were watching the show, Maddie was like, "Who is that actor? Like that's a famous actor. Who is that?" And I was like, "It's Sacha Baron Cohen." And she was like, "I know that name. What do I know him from?" I was like, "That's fucking Borat." And
Sacha Baron Cohen doing his best Charles Manson impression.
It's Sacha Baron Cohen for the first time not doing full character bit.
Yeah.
And instead playing like a serious character with motivations and not trying to like pull wool over the eyes of idiots.
Yeah. I'm amazed Maddie doesn't know Sacha Baron Cohen by name. Just a millennial doesn't know Sacha Baron Cohen.
Well, he
by
wasn't in the
name.
uniform, Kyle.
Yeah, well, and that was the thing, right? Is like she put it together afterwards that like she very much does or did know him by name, but it's like it's just
But that name
so,
is Borat.
yeah, it's so not what I am used to Sacha Baron Cohen doing. The most serious, I'm looking at his IMDb right now. I think the most serious thing that I've seen him in is probably Les Mis, which is not a good example. Yeah, like
where he's the comic relief.
Yeah, and that's not to say that like he hasn't always had the chops and everybody knows it except for me, but like I was as a day one Mephisti when the initial casting rumor 3 years ago came out that was like, we got him, Sacha Baron Cohen is Mephisto. I was like, what are we doing?
Oh,
what are we really look how they massacred my boy. And, I'm eating crow on all that.
They took it they took it the way they needed to do it, which was like in a Lucifer direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the devil is obviously British.
Yep.
Obviously.
No one would ever argue that.
Yeah.
Well, they did do. You'll see freeze frames out there of a reflection in a spoon. I think it is.
Yeah.
Where like the reflection of human version Mephisto, which I think he even says like I'm human Mephisto. Here I am.
No, he says he keeps calling Anthony Ramos a very exceptional human being a lot. Where it's very unsettling.
But there's a freeze frame image out there. Go look at it if you haven't already. That is a reflection in a spoon where like the reflection of Mephisto is like bright red with glowing white eyes. And like,
that's pretty cool.
I knew I was looking for it because that was the spoiler image I saw at the top of my shit feed of Twitter. And I didn't see it when I was watching the series, but it's out there.
I missed it too. They do a very Get Out-esque, like he's stirring the tea and dings it, and it's spooky, and that's kind of where it happens.
So I have a lore question. I did a little bit of research, but I didn't see a ton. What is Mephisto's connection to the Hood, if any? And what is Mephisto's connection to Ironheart, if any, in the comics? Because I couldn't find any connection to the latter.
I don't know that they're... I'll say this with a caveat that like anything is connected to anything. Like who knows who's going to push up a glasses and be like, well, in Young Avengers 25, the 2017 run. I don't believe there is a direct connection in like origin. I think that Mephisto is just, think about how many big, evil, magical things we've dealt with. And it's like Dormammu, by some extent, Caecilius, which, wow, what a pull. Caecilius reference we got. The villain of Doctor Strange 1. But yeah, it's like Dormammu, Caecilius, the Darkhold. Like we've got all these like extra dimensional evil things. And so that is magic. And so in the comics with the Hood, I believe there's been some connection. I don't know if Anthony Ramos's character, Parker Collins, gets the Hood from him, but I think there's definitely overlap there. But yeah, as far as connections to Ironheart, I don't think there's any explicit origins with Mephisto and Ironheart.
I don't know of any between Mephisto and Ironheart. I do know that I think if you trace the lineage of power of the Hood, it eventually comes back to Mephisto in the comics. but sort of the thing with the Hood in the comics, the Hood, the artifact, not the Hood, the character, is that it's passed from wearer to wearer by like whoever kills the person who has the Hood.
It's a cursed magical object. Yeah,
it's a cursed magical object.
I think the Hood as a character is pretty old. I'm guessing predates Mephisto originally because like
I don't think
the origin like
the Hood first appeared in 2002.
Yeah, the Hood.
Oh my
the
gosh,
Hood
I
is
thought it
young.
was super old. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So the Hood got the Hood from a demon, and I think that demon got the Hood from Mephisto or something like that.
Sure.
It's like in the order, but
so it's connected. It's connected enough.
What I did really like though, and again, not to reference Doctor Strange 1, a movie that is suddenly very relevant, which now makes sense that was one of the suggested movies to watch before this series because again, they name dropped Caecilius and Dormammu.
Yeah.
movie's 10 years old.
Dude, and when Mephisto, when they say Dormammu, Mephisto's like, no, like, like gotta kick out of that.
Idiot.
That what I liked is the Hood, the artifact, follows the rules of what Wong told us about magic items. That like sometimes magic is so powerful it has to be funneled through an item.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like this is, I think Kyle nailed it. This is a cursed magic item. Like this is a like. To strip it down as much as you can, this is a magic item that'll give you a lot of good shit, but there's a big drawback.
It's the One Ring.
It's the One Ring.
It is the One Ring.
I think this was the first. Someone can remind me if I'm wrong. If it's in WandaVision or Agatha all along, but the first property that spelled out magic exacts a price to use magic.
Yeah, they've
WandaVision
never
spelled it out. And I think that might have been
Agatha,
the first one.
Agatha does too.
Okay.
Agatha all along does.
Because like the Darkhold sucking the life out of your fingertips. That was their version of like your. Well, no, Doctor Strange.
WandaVision focuses on dark magic, but this is like This reminded me of like Full Metal Alchemist, the law of equivalent exchange. Like all magic exacts a price. That's why we use eyes of newts and. You know, bone dust and shit.
Which, so I think the answer to that question is this is the first one that says all magic does it. Because we've seen, Doctor Strange open portals and do this, that, and the other without any like drawbacks. And we only saw big drawbacks when they were using dark magic. Yeah. And this might be the first one that did just say like, no, all magic.
I want to put an asterisk because I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty sure that Wong gives us that exposition like one of the first times we meet him in the Library of Kamar-Taj in Doctor Strange 1. But I'm not 100% on that.
It is also worth noting that I forgot her name, but the girl.
Zelma,
thank you. Zelma is doing this all. She's analog. Like if Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange, he's doing it digital. Like she's just like an analog, like C-tier magician, and this is how like most people do magic.
Yeah.
Which is like that's kind of fun.
And what's fun about that character, because we don't really dive deep into the Easter eggs anymore, but that character is like an established character in the Marvel stories. Like there's a storyline from maybe somewhere between 2010 2020, like the death of Doctor Strange, and they show like the 6 people who felt his death happen when it happened, and she's one of them. That like she is some like magical prodigy, which like I don't know, they've been talking about the Sorcerer's Academy show that might happen eventually, yada yada. But like Zelma is like an established character that does this shit.
I liked the kind of line that was like she had to learn her magic, like make her own kind of magic here in Chicago, so it's gonna be different than Kamar-Taj, and that's exciting.
That's fun.
And I think that's exciting. I want to see Chicago hood magic. That's awesome.
Chicago hood magic is good.
Zelma, I think honestly, Zelma was my favorite character in this show.
Yeah, she was fun.
Zelma is really cool in the comics. She is kind of considered the librarian of magic. She like collects all of this magic knowledge and it sort of catalogs it all as sort of this person who walks between witchcraft and sorcery and all this other stuff. The big thing in the MCU, if you're like way too deep into it, is people talking about the colors of magic.
Yeah.
And the most interesting part about this whole thing, if you're into that sauce, is that Zelma in Ironheart uses red magic, which is
the chaos magic.
Chaos magic, which is the same as like Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, who is the most powerful magic user, yada, yada, yada. But
to Kyle's point, what if it's just red magic because it's Chicago hood magic?
Exactly.
It's like it's Ruby instead of Scarlet.
That was the line I was going to draw, is that what if, because who knows, that it's like, oh, it's red because it doesn't have the structural foundation of magic that is being taught in a controlled space. Matt has more to say. I can see him going.
So the last thing I was going to say
Matt's
there
analyzed the hex codes of each color red that were
hex codes, Kyle.
I was going to say, you can't say hex. God damn it, Kyle. The last thing I was going to put out there is like, Maddie was, after we watched it, she was like, I don't know that I like that Zelma just like jumped in with the hood at the end. And I was like, that's kind of the thing about Zelma's character in the comics. And I think the way they portrayed her in the show too is like, hey, if you want to get into some fucked up magic, Zelma's down. Zelma is down to get into the weirdest shit you can find all the time.
I think it's a continuation of the like, to be iconic, you will have to do some fucked up shit. I think it's a continuation of that theme, and that Zelma is that character. That character always exists in magic too.
I mean, to tie it back to it's Tony Stark. It's knowledge at any cost.
Yep, exactly.
Whenever you have magic with rules like this, you get the person that's like, I shouldn't be studying this. They would consider this to be dark magic, but boy, is it useful and fun. So I'm going to keep doing it. And that's great.
I want to do what we always do here and end with wild speculation, because that's just what we do on this show. And I know we've talked a little bit about, we've talked about some of the villains, what we see, but, do we see Riri Williams again? Do we see the Hood again? We've kind of already talked about. Is it an issue that Riri made a deal with Mephisto to bring back her friend? And again, I cannot stress enough, people, except for her friend's brother, seemed super cool that she made an AI out of her dead friend.
Super fine with it.
Like,
I don't think they were. I actually don't think they were. I think
cooler than they should have been.
I think her mom was impressed with the technology. I think a lot of people were like, if this is how you need to grieve, fine. Like, I think a lot of people just like didn't want to deal with it.
I think
to be honest,
impressed with the technology and had a bit of like, okay, you're finally processing some things.
If this is what you need to be okay, sure, still,
I think it's
very weird.
I think that is a very kind take.
Yeah,
if she got into like drawing art of her deceased friend, or like, oh, I would now wear my deceased friend's like favorite jacket because I miss her. Like making a whole AI out of her brain scans that is like around and involved in her life.
There is also that it was like accidental. There was the fact that like she didn't 100% go out with like, I'm going to make an AI of my dead friend.
Right.
Matters, I think.
I think the big thing, and I'll dovetail this into predictions too.
Cool.
I think that this show asked a really interesting question in the first 3 episodes, and they kind of like kept the question alive. And I'm into that because I think it's a question that Marvel is going to continue to ask going forward. And also, I think it's probably a question they stole from Severance. And Severance is a really good show, so I'm not sad that they stole it. And that question is, what does it mean to be alive? And there were all of these moments in this show where they were talking about souls. And I think that was when we first started to get like trailer footage and stuff, and people were like, Mephisto doing souls. I think that came up a lot. But to see it in the context of the show, there's a lot more of a question to ponder there of like, okay, you've created this AI of your dead friend based on your memories of your dead friend and also all of the AI knowledge on the internet. Does that equate to your best friend? And the reaction that people had to that, I think, was influenced by where those individuals were in their processing of the grief of losing Natalie and Gary, right? Because like her mom has processed a lot of that, and she says like, you know, you captured her soul, but is that really the case? And then like her brother, Zay, who felt Natalie's soul in the headphones, saw this AI as like a really fucked up thing. And then Landon, the little kid, didn't know Natalie when this happened and was like, you're just a holographic black lady. That's crazy.
Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Can I interject real quick? I want to make a point. I don't want to forget it. Best line delivery in this entire show is when her mom looks at her and she's like, can you make one of Gary?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was rough. I was like, yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I want to interject too with I thought we were going to get more of a tie between like Souls and the AI Natalie. I thought that was we were going to get a Pinocchio, I'm a real boy moment with the AI and Mephisto giving the AI the soul by the end, knowing the Mephisto reveal.
Well, I think that's what
I
think that's what she thought she was asking for, was to get the AI back.
She thought she was asking for the functional AI back. I thought, well, and this was before like the AI vanished, that I had this thought that I thought this was going to end with, oh, and the AI has a soul, whatever that means now.
The AI is just vision or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel that's one where I feel like maybe a little missed opportunity to get deeper into it like that. But, you know, that's fine too. That's my interjection.
Yeah.
So to then dovetail this into predictions, one of the next shows that we know is coming down the pipeline is Vision Quest. And we have gotten all of these castings of human versions of AI
we have
met before, including James Spader is coming back as human Ultron, as well as some other folks.
Wild.
And not only do we have like, okay, human AI, that is also the third in Jack Schaefer's trilogy of WandaVision, Agatha, and Vision Quest. So it's really going to be based around technology and magic, which we just did here with this show called Ironheart. And so I think the next time that we're going to see a lot of these folks, Doctor Strange 3, maybe, I don't know. But like, I think the cliffhangers of Ironheart are headed towards the same place that Vision Quest is headed towards. And I don't know that that means we see these people in Vision Quest, but I think whether it's Ironheart season 2 or Vision Quest, I think those stories lace together in this question of what does it mean to be human? Because I think the cliffhanger is we got Natalie back, she's alive, and I don't know that that's the case. I think it could be like this is an AI soul bot created by dark magic, not actually Natalie back from the dead. I don't know exactly how that plays out,
it's
but
I think
a
homunculus type thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the Andrew already made the comparison, but Full Metal Alchemist just running on loops in my brain right now.
I want to go real quick with my prediction because it's short. Well, I have two things to say. One, God, I can't wait to watch James Spader just eat as Ultron in a TV show.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Two, we seemingly have a and I'm drawing blanks on all the like who the young Avengers that have
we
been
got
revealed.
a little base going,
But we have, but a lot of the young, or two that I can think of offhand, Billy and Riri now, both kind of have like magic that has to come back and exact its toll on them in some way. And I think that's going to be fun to see. I mean, I feel this is setting Mephisto up to be a like young Avengers type villain if that ever happens. I know we've gotten the announcement that Blade movie is moving forward, except now it's Midnight Suns movie, so that's also an outlet for Mephisto to appear. But I just want to comment, it seems like a lot of young Avengers have magic debts to pay, and that will be fun to see play out.
You guys want to go to hell?
Let's go to hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The dark dimension, Andrew. We can't call it hell.
Is the dark dimension the same as Mephisto's realm? I thought they were.
I don't think
those
that
are
it is.
different things.
Yeah, because I think Dormammu
Okay.
gets the dark dimension, and this is Marvel
Clea,
Satan,
who we're going to see in Doctor Strange 3.
niece of Dormammu or whatever.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other time we've seen resurrection in the MCU is Doctor Strange 2 when he resurrects his body, and that was a horrible nightmare.
And Agatha all along, like that Billy.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Is a
that's
resurrection.
And
It is
that's
a
the thing, like talking about magic debts, we learned in Agatha that death has rules. Like that is not there. You can't just
Aubrey Plaza
just
told
bring
us
people
that.
back.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza told us that. Yeah, I let's go to hell, guys. Ironheart takes the suit to hell to fight demons. Let's go.
Ironheart, Ghost Rider.
Ironheart Doom, it sounds like. And I think Andrew just pitched us Doom, but with Ironheart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
pretty
is.
much.
Yeah.
Not Doctor, the game.
Not Doctor. Yeah,
Not Doctor,
Yeah,
the game.
yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da, Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one.
I'm pretty firmly in what Kyle said here. That was my first thought, is that like if they're doing this Young Avengers or Children's Crusade, or I think they might call it Champions because they can't keep calling everything Avengers. We've already
Not
got
gonna
new
call it the
Avengers.
Children's Crusade. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, yeah. Crusade doesn't end up in titles anymore. Avengers with a Z. That I do believe that like there's not a version of the Young Avengers without Riri Williams. We've already kind of got. We've got new Hawkeye and we've got Ms. Marvel they've done their little thing.
Here's the problem with the Young Avengers, though. By the time they film that
They're not
movie,
gonna be
they're
young.
going to be in their
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be a
won't be
movie. I
young.
think it'll be here's the other thing. I think it could be a series. Who knows? I don't want to spin on that too much. What they've done with Mephisto, though, with Sacha Baron Cohen, is that they've given you a villain that requires such little makeup or CGI effects until he goes Ghost Rider and transforms.
Yeah.
Until we put him in a movie and have the budget to do that.
Yeah, until
Yep.
they make him 14 feet tall as Satan. So
I thought you were going to say, too, that they also we have a villain that if we have to recast on the fly, we haven't
doesn't matter.
established. We haven't established there are thousands and thousands of Mephistos across the multiverse, and they all look alike.
Yeah, they have Kang insurance now for every villain.
yeah, that's never happening again. I think that we're gonna get some Young Avengers story. That's where we'll see Riri again. I really do hope that we see Anthony Ramos's Hood again. I really, really liked him, and I don't know when that shows up. I don't know what that looks like. I want to see the Midnight Suns go really, really well. And they've got such carte blanche access to so many spooky characters that like you could even make the argument that, Anthony Ramos gets bundled into that somehow. Like they've got a dozen different spooky people that they can just throw into that movie. And like give us for a long weekend in a cabin. We'll write you a stupid script like that can be Blade
We
focused.
already wrote it. It's Riri Williams going to hell.
Right.
Yeah, man,
like,
it's
so I
Doom,
don't know.
but with Ironheart,
I do think that I think it'd be silly to think that we don't see Mephisto again. I also think that he could be a Young Avengers villain, which what better way to like, I love the thought that all the adult Avengers are fighting aliens and monsters and stuff. And suddenly it's like, oh, the young one, Satan.
Yeah.
You gotta go deal with Satan.
The literal devil from the Bible.
And it'd be really
poor Haley Steinfeld. She's so outmatched.
right. Shoot arrow.
Shoot arrow.
It would just be really funny to me to like have the follow up after that movie where all the capital A Avengers are like, where were you guys? And they're like, hell, we went to hell. We went to hell because you all were in the negative zone fighting Annihilus or whatever the fuck you're doing in the year 2029.
Real quick, who are the Young Avengers? Like, who are positioned to be the Young Avengers right now?
I mean, I think Hawkeye's Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye. So Kate Bishop, as you will.
Yeah, Kate Bishop.
Ms. Marvel. You've got Billy. You've got Riri Williams.
Warlock Billy.
Yeah, we're also forgetting Scar.
Yeah,
Hulk's son.
Oh, of course.
Scar, who I would bet money we just never see again. That he gets disappeared like that one girl on Heroes who just gets on that train and never gets off.
We're not talking. I don't want to talk about Captain America 4, but that's a really good bit. Yeah, that's a really good bit, Kyle. I don't want to talk about Captain America 4 because whatever. But I watched it right after I watched Ironheart, which was just.
It is the recommended viewing order.
Just whiplash difference. But like, I couldn't help the whole time watching Captain America being like, do they just have is this just a whiteboard of all the plot threads they haven't closed? And they're just they're like, well, we haven't told you what happened to Tim Blake Nelson's character from 2008's The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Do you remember him?
Yeah, it is kind of that.
No, I was in college when I watched The Incredible Hulk and I was high and I don't remember any of it and I don't need to. That movie was not good. Anyway, so we don't need to close every plot thread.
No. We don't. I think the premise, the snowball has already started rolling on Young Avengers, and they have to deliver something. I do not want to think too long about what that is. The project hasn't been announced yet. When they give us an announcement, then I'll speculate wildly. But like we are still dealing with the repercussions of Jonathan Majors being problematic.
Yeah.
But like in ways that we will not fully understand for when does Secret Wars come out? 2027?
I don't even know.
3 months after Blade.
3 months after Blade. Which is 2 months after Andrew watches The Mandalorian.
I had a thought and lost it. We were talking about Young Avengers. We were talking about Secret Avengers. Oh, this is the end of Phase 5.
Yes, it is. It is the official end of Phase 5. They just stealth announced that the other day.
Do we have
Phase 5's over?
Was Phase 5? Is this still the multiverse saga? Is the multiverse saga done now?
It's gonna be the multiverse saga until we finish Secret Wars, I think.
This is Phase 6 is the end of the multiverse.
So we're still in it.
Let me ask the question. What did we learn from Phase 5?
Nostalgia is the only thing that can save a property other than just really good writing with Ironheart.
Good writing and practical effects, because that was the same thing with Shang-Chi.
Because the other high watermark,
which I guess
people would forget. People would forget that Deadpool and Wolverine is Phase 5.
Yeah.
Which nostalgia ties up nicely, whereas Captain America 4, nostalgia you didn't ask for, feels different.
This is a good place, I think, on this conversation to ask one more question to Kyle and Andrew, and it's the question that I'm like the most interested in hearing an answer to, because like we said at the top of the show, Todd and I have been just sucking the teat of Marvel Cope on and off mic for years, and y'all are back, and that's exciting. And I want to know what about Ironheart worked for you that so many of the things that came before it didn't work for you. And I'm not like, I understand. I get it. I'm not surprised that Ironheart worked for you in the way that others didn't. Yeah. But I would love it if you could, in your own words, kind of diagnose that.
I can take a shot. I think it comes down to two things. And one I already kind of mentioned, which is this is the version of the Marvel media that does what DC animated stuff does really well, which is telling a smaller scale story that is about people and the human condition, right? Like, it's not like, yes, it's about superheroes, but like, for example, my partner was watching it and like she was like interested until about episode 3 when we hit the point where I said, which I do every time, okay, it's still a Marvel thing. She's like, oh, that's really interesting. She's like dealing with like the death of her best friend. Why does that guy's cape whispering to him? I was like, well, he's from a demon. He stole it from a demon. And it was like, oh, it's still a Marvel thing. You hit that point. But we didn't, it took us 3 episodes to get to this is still a Marvel property. And that's where I think why Spider-Man does so well. I mean, Spider-Man's, iconic character, but like, because it is a personal story more so than like the reason why no one, and I don't think people really resonate with the Eternals is like, I don't care about these people. This is like some like global scale war that I don't have a frame of reference for, and it's like too big. I think it is not a coincidence that if you list out the biggest hits from Phase 5 and Phase 4, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man 3, and then I think this is up there.
Daredevil.
Agatha all along is up there.
Agatha was very good.
Yeah, you do have to put Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine on that list of successes.
Yeah, I think I'm cooling on Deadpool and Wolverine, but yeah, sure. But I think it's not a coincidence that the ones that do better or the ones that feel better are isolated stories and aren't trying to do the interconnectivity, right? Mm-hmm. And like, this is like the thing that we keep coming back to is like the best and worst thing that ever happened to the MCU was Endgame. Yeah. And like continuing to try to chase that dragon and like everything's connected and blah, blah, blah. Like, cool, man. That's great. But like, I don't fucking care about Tim Blake Nelson's character 20 years later. I don't. Like, it was not like a plot thread I needed. I don't care about what happened to Thunderbolt Ross. Like, if when you stop trying to do the interconnected stuff and just make a good story, it's fun.
I'll go off that and agree with a lot of what Andrew said and go a little deeper in that this was I really liked this and Agatha all along. They're the two that I think require the least amount of like you have to have seen 8 other Marvel these 8 other Marvel properties to get it. You miss some of it with Agatha all along. I still have not seen Wakanda Forever and got this fine, but like Agatha all along, you get that like one paragraph of catch up kind of at the beginning, and that is almost entirely separate from anything having to do with the Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange or anything like that. It's a standalone story. And when they do the standalone stories and don't rely on, and this is where the thinker, this is where the thinker shows up and will pause for a second so the audience can cheer. When you don't do that, you're more likely to tell a good story. And this was just a good story that, again, from the beginning, sold itself on, here's our fun new character who's may or may not step into Iron Man's shoes. Here's 15 minutes of her doing what a young Tony Stark would have done type scene. That's really great. Right
on. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think the interconnectivity is probably the ultimate downfall of Phase 4. And I think when you, like, if you ask Andrew, what did we learn from Phase 5? I think it's that, right? That what succeeds is what is less connected. And even for those of us who have been on the sauce, I have found myself spending less time seeking out all of the intricate details. And like, I mean, I still love Marvel and the MCU, and I still spend a lot of my free brain space thinking about how it all does connect and how it all does tie together, because I'm into that, but it's nice not having it at the forefront all the time and feeling like there's something so comic booky about the like, I'm better than you because I have the secret knowledge of how it all ties together. And that really bled into the MCU there for a while. And I think we're getting rid of it again.
There's something so liberating about watching something and not looking for signs of X-Men.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
And it's right. And I think the peak when Marvel hit, I mean, obviously like Avengers movies are going to have ties in. Like you can't 100%. Really do a team 'em up without knowing who the team is at least a little bit before it. But like, I feel like Marvel did their best when it was the occasional cameo that tied it together. You know, like, or, you know, like it was Black Widow showing up in an Iron Man 2 movie before like she became Black Widow, you know, like those are the things, like say a name, drop a line, do whatever. But I cannot stress enough how much I agree with Andrew that life is so much better when you're not hunting for little seeds of X-Men.
Well, and I think, and even to that point, even Deadpool and Wolverine, a movie sold on, look, here's this character, here's this other character you know and love, got away with it because it was so much that it went back around to like, if you want to find the connections, great, they're there. If you don't care about the connections, don't worry about it. This is all the bit. It's just like the bit of that was, look how much of the fan service we crammed in. So if you didn't care, you could just go like, oh great, that's Wesley Snipes, I guess.
Well, look no further for proof than Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Yeah.
Like that was the hat on a hat of like, this is so much winking and nodding that it either matters immensely to you or it does not matter at all. Yeah. And your viewing experience will not suffer either way.
It was the same exact thing as Nicolas Cage Superman in the Flash movie, except good.
God.
Like Nicolas Cage was Superman in the Flash.
We don't have time for this.
The answer to your question is yes.
Yeah. So don't anyone go watch The Flash, or I don't care. I'm not your dad. The Flash has like a look at all these multi-worlds away, and it shows all the different actors that have played Supermans to varying terrible degrees.
Nicolas Cage was Superman before?
He was supposed to be Superman.
In the same way that Channing Tatum was supposed to be Gambit. Nicolas Cage.
I'm already tired. All right, let's move on.
Go search the YouTube clip. It's like 2 minutes long. That's the best way to get it.
I'm exercising for my brain now. Thank you. Please and thank you.
It's in the Joel Schumacher canon. It was supposed to be in the Joel Schumacher canon of Batman movies.
Okay. Well, that tracks then.
Yeah.
On that terrible note of The Flash being a terrible movie, hey, thanks so much for listening to Avenge This. It is a show brought to you by the Nerds That Debate This. And if you liked what you heard today, be sure to subscribe to the Avenge This podcast, where you can find recaps for movies and shows from the MCU. And also, sometimes the DC stuff too, but I don't know, maybe not. We'll find out. Until next time, I'm Todd Thomas.
I'm Matt. Has officially been Mephisted. Cole.
I'm Kyle, a talented Zionist and racist playing the devil. Sure. Harper.
I'm Andrew. Zeke Stain can't legally go 500 feet within a Best Buy. Henderson.
And we're saying, hey, catch us later this month as we talk about Superman and the Fantastic Four, probably. Okay.
Maybe bye.
Bye.